The People's Platform.
Good evening and welcome to the People's Platform. January 2024 will see the 11th edition of the Galle Literary Festival, GLF 2024, kick off. We're here to discuss that. I'm pleased to welcome on the show Giselle Harding, Event Director, Galle Literary Festival 2024. Good evening and welcome, Giselle.
Thank you so much, Sonali.
Giselle, the Galle Literary Festival is one of the most anticipated literary events in Sri Lanka and also South Asia. Speak to us about GLF 2024. There are some headliners: Alexander McCall Smith, Christina Lamb, Anthony Horowitz, Shehan Karnatilaka, Bailey Jaswell. How significant is GLF 2024 going to be, especially because this is happening after a hiatus of several years?
Yeah, I have to say we're definitely coming back with a bang. We've got around 45 international authors coming, joining us in Galle between the 25th and the 28th of January. Mm-hmm. We've got another 25 locally based authors, so it's a huge lineup of around 70, and that's made up of around 180 events. So while it's definitely more concise across just 4 days this year, I think that we've definitely catered, there's something for everyone. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Speak to us also about the Children's Festival. There's a gourmet section as well. Speak to us about the Fringe events that will also be taking place.
Absolutely. So in the last years, we saw a lot of success in the popularity of the foodie events. We've traditionally held some quite sort of unique dinners or literary lunches with authors, often hosted by celebrity chefs as well. And we noticed a trend in their popularity, plus there's a huge international food trend happening at the moment. So we've built on that and spread it out across 3 months. We've invited 12 international chefs across 12 weekends. Each chef will be catering a dinner and also offering a masterclass. These tickets are open to the public to come to. And that's now a festival underneath the umbrella of Galle Literary Festival called Gourmet Galle, and we've seen loads of interest in that. The lineup for that's available online and our website for that launch today as well. Then we've got other fringe events which we've always had, and we've built on a little bit more, and we're just growing very organically. So we've got the Children's Festival, which is on the Saturday the 27th. That includes 5 international authors and a number of our local children's authors as well. So they put on a series of workshops for ages from 2 all the way up to 14. So there's a real age range there. We've got the art trail, which is something that's been really popular in the past. We've grown that a little bit this year. So the art trail runs along the same dates as the festival, and it's made up of open houses, exhibitions, meet the artist events. So really between sessions in the literary festival, you can pop in, catch an exhibition, meet an artist, or perhaps visit. We have a few collectors who have opened up their private collections for public viewing, which is a really unique opportunity as well. So those are some of the fringe events that we're doing this year.
Let's go back to when Galle Literary Festival started back in 2007, established by Jeffrey Dobbs, with the purpose of celebrating Sri Lankan literary excellence, as well as creating a platform for writers, poets to meet each other, meet other international writers, poets as well. Speak to us about how much this movement has grown. So, I mean, it started, Jeffrey started the festival in 2007, sort of out of 2 passions. One, a passion for literature and Sri Lankan literature, as you say, to create a platform for these for local authors to be benchmarked alongside international authors. I mean, I think he really appreciated Sri Lankan writing and felt like that it was undervalued. And so in doing that, he was very well connected in the international literary world. Essentially invited a bunch of his international writers for a great time on the South Coast. And he also
owned a number of boutique hotels across the south coast. So they were naturally, the events were hosted in his hotels. So from that, it grew very organically in that he tapped into a local hotel network who also wanted to promote boutique tourism on the south coast of Sri Lanka, and also connected with the local literary world. And so, yeah, it just grew very organically from that point. Everybody loves it because it's fun, ultimately, as well as having a lot of really interesting content and good discussions and talks. There's so many fun elements to it as well. So I feel that people, it doesn't take itself too seriously, and people can take from it fun and education.
Absolutely. Promoting Sri Lankan tourism has become of pivotal importance, especially now, given the current crises that Sri Lanka is facing. This time, GLF is partnering with Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau, coming on board as a partner. How do you propose to take Sri Lankan tourism, Sri Lankan writing, the festival itself, to the international markets? How would you promote literary tourism, international tourism? Speak to us about that as well.
So, because we've partnered with SLTPB, we're spending a lot more of our communication. The focus of our communications is really online, because that's where we can talk to an international audience. So we've worked very hard on sort of freshening up the brand and making sure the website is really efficient and working well. And then on top of that, really pushing social media, getting everything on Instagram and our communications on Facebook very clear. All of our tickets can be purchased online, which is very different from having to go to a box office, a physical box office. We want to be accessible to the international community. Then at the same time, we've invited a number of international press. We are doing a lot of paid promotions in Europe, but also the Middle East and South Asia. Our Indian market is quite big as well, and we're connecting with travel agents for them to build itineraries around the literary festival. Our travel agents are great, and they do bring a huge number of tourists through Sri Lanka, and this gives them another angle. So rather than the usual offering that they've curated and produced, being a sort of cultural, this now brings us to cultural tourism, and so it's a whole new aspect for them to build into.
Absolutely. Let's speak a bit more about some of the highlights, some of the headliners, some of the comedy events that you're hosting. Yeah,
so obviously we've got our headliners who are doing various different things. Lots of, I mean, you mentioned Alexander McCall Smith, he's on a panel discussion, he's doing an interview, and he's also doing a lunch. So you can catch him at any one of those three events. Alongside all of our authors, we've also got things like our comedy night. We've invited Vidura BR, who is coming for a comedy night. He's doing a full set for us on Saturday the 27th. Tickets for that are now available. And we're doing some really interesting collaborations. We have After Laziz is the director of a recent documentary, The Genius of the Place, which is a documentary on Geoffrey Bower. He's doing a screening in Court Square in Galle Fort. So there's some really interesting collaborations going on, and different kinds of experiences that people wouldn't usually find in Sri Lanka.
Okay, fabulous. We are in conversation with Giselle Harding. She's the events director at Galle Literary Festival 2024. We're going for a short commercial break. We'll be right back.
The People's Platform.
Gypsies live in concert with Sirasa TV, where music meets the spirit of the season. Christmas with Gypsies. Back after 25 years to Vihara Mahadevi Open Air. Sirasa Flashtown 23 Gypsies live in concert. Featuring BNS, Hana and Nadima. Get your tickets now. Media sponsors Sirasa TV and TV1.
Let the twinkling lights of Christmas guide us as we step into the new year. Ready to write our own chapters filled with adventure and joy. the cold December Christmas celebration organized by the Colombo Municipal Council will be filled with food and beverage stalls and daily music shows. Snow World, Stunt Show and Galaxy from 10 a.m. to midnight. Media sponsor TV1, Sirasa TV, Shakti TV.
Inflation, exchange rates and the rise and fall of the stock market. Bringing you insights into the business world. Watch the Business Buzz every Tuesday at 9:30 p.m. on TV1.
Been undermined, that whole procurement standards, practices have not been followed.
So if you just look at the women who are earning a decent wage, it is less than 10% of the working age.
Industry where the dollars or the foreign exchange we bring in, there is a cascading effect.
Look at the revenue. So this budget is expecting almost a 45% increase in the revenue.
That is particularly for Sri Lanka at this time. We have so little leeway.
The People's Platform.
ඡන්ද නෑ මොන ඡන්දද අපිට කන්නවත් නැතුව කියන තැනට තමයි ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ. දැන් මේක හරියද?
දේශපාලනික ව්‍යාකූලතාවයන්ට මිනිස්සු මූණ දීලා ඇති වුණාම මිනිස්සු ඡන්දය දීම කරදරයක් විදිහට හිතන්නේ. ඕනෑම රටක් ගොඩනංවන්න නම් ඒ රටේ ළමා පරපුරේ සුරක්ෂිතතාවය අපි සලකන්න ඕනේ. මේ රටක දරුවන්ට ස්ත්‍රීන්ට සලකන්නේ නැති රටක් ගැන අපිට කතා කරන්න බෑ.
සමහරෙකුට ඇත්තටම හිතෙන්නට පුළුවන් මේක තමයි මේ හොඳම විසඳුම අර ඇටෙන්ෂන් ගන්න කාට හරි පාඩමක් උගන්වන්න.
වස බිව්වට පස්සේ මැරේ. ඊපස්සේ දවස් දෙක තුනක් අපිව පෙට්ටියක දාලා තියලා ඊට පස්සේ අපිව වල්ලා දාන. පවුලය දානයක් දෙවි අමහට බිරිඳක් නම් තව කෙනෙක් එක්ක විවාහ වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඔබ ගැන මතකේ ටික ටික ඉවත් වෙලා යනවා.
අපිට පුළුවන් රටේ ලෝකයේ අපේ දකින අත්දකින අත්විඳින බොහෝ දේවල් ජාතික මෙහෙවර තුළින් කතා බහ කරන්න. එය දේශපාලනයේ විය හැකි, ආර්ථිකයේ විය හැකි, කාලීන ප්‍රවණතා විය හැකි.
ජාතික මෙහෙවර සතියේ දිනවල උදෑසන 11ට.
TV1 TV for life. TV1 TV for life.
The People's Platform.
Welcome back. We are in conversation with the event director of the Galle Literary Festival 2024, Giselle Harding. Giselle, something that the Galle Literary Festival has done over the years is that it has created a sort of mindset shift in people of Sri Lanka, especially who mark their calendars just to go to Galle and sit, unwind, listen to panel discussions, take part in all the other events, listen to differing perspectives, meet people, meet the authors. And it has created this shift where the arts, where literary works have been given prominence, importance, which is important. Speak to us about how important it is to promote the arts and create this paradigm shift in the dynamic, because people are so much in survival mode with everything that they do, that things like this are so important to just.
Absolutely. I think that life these days is quite intense. We spend a lot of the day online on our phones looking at screens, and it's more important than ever to be able to escape that and have a space to escape that. So I think that Galle Literary Festival certainly fills that gap, and there's a few aspects to that. One is the environment, just going down into Galle Fort, into the UNESCO World Heritage Site, and being in that space, it really takes you back because it's a really historical site, so you almost feel a bit odd being near a computer screen or on your phone. I mean, you really want to look around you and embrace the backdrop that's the fort and the sea and the lighthouse and the landscape. It's really that really contributes towards that. And then, as you say, I think it's the content. I think it's so important to sit back and listen to different perspectives, to have exposure to these types of things, because it just broadens the mind. And so it's sort of a two-step process. You've got the environment, you can reset and kind of enjoy the space, and only then can you start to absorb the content that you're listening to. And that's why the content is really important. And when we went through the process of curating our program, we really tried to make sure that we've got a diverse number of perspectives, thoughts, topics, and things that people can ponder over. We want people to walk away or go for dinner in the evening and talk about what they've heard in that day, and not be following news online or worrying about emails from work or things like that. So I really hope that that is a gap that Galle Literary Festival fills. I think so far it has.
Absolutely. GLF will also be seeing a lot of charity programs being done. Take us through that as well.
Yeah, so one part of GLF is that we've always given back. The local community is very important, and we feel that the residents of Galle are almost ambassadors to the festival. It's our tuk-tuk drivers who tell the tourists about the festival, and our students who then go on later to participate in the festival and even host talks or moderate. So we have a number of charitable programs, one being a children's outreach program. We reach out to 5 local schools in the area, and we host a series of 5 workshops for the local schools. This is by invite only, and we put on the full program for them with a number of different visiting authors to give back to the local community, but also to help improve English language skills. Then we have also a North-South University program. This is a really interesting one as well, because we feel that we want it to be accessible to students, and some of our big English language universities in Sri Lanka are not close by. So we're offering transport and accommodation to 100 students from 5 different universities across the country. Which is a great program and offers opportunities to students who might not normally be able to come and listen to the voices that we've just discussed or hear the perspectives. And really valuable to some of their courses as well, anyone studying classics or history or English language, so that's a great program. And then finally, I suppose volunteers as well. Every year we hire at least 100 volunteers. This year we're looking at 120 to 150 because of the size of the event. And then when we bring on board our volunteers, it's more than sort of just checking tickets. It's much more of creating a work experience environment, offering a little bit of training. And our volunteers this year have been all locally recruited, so from the region of Galle, which is great because they obviously know it really well, and they'll be talking to all of our guests and visitors, and they're, as I say, the best ambassadors of the event. So yes, we offer training for that, and then at the end we have a lovely volunteer party where we give awards and certificates out. So it's a really nice thing that we do.
Okay, fabulous. Organizing an event of this magnitude is not an easy task. Take us through the process.
Yeah, it's not an easy task at all. Fortunately, I'm from an events background, so I've worked on lots of different events internationally, majority in the Middle East for the government. So I am familiar with the process, and it's no different working on any events that I've done in the past to Galle Literary Festival. We start off with a very sort of creative process where we're looking at the curation of the program. We work with a curator and curation team actually to really brainstorm where we want the program to sit, think about themes, thinking about authors to invite and underlying themes that tie the program together and make it cohesive, making sure it's well balanced. We then start to look at design and execution, so we then grow the team a little bit more while we look at website and the technical side of things, and then we get very operational. So our logistics team joins, where we have a fab logistics team, but there's, we've got 45 flights to book. We've got 70 authors and participators to transport here and offer accommodation for and book things. So there's a huge amount of logistical organisation that goes into it, and we've got a fabulous team this year delivering on that.
All right. Let's also tell our viewers how they can purchase tickets, what they need to do.
Absolutely. So tickets are now available online. You can download our full programme on galleliteraryfestival.com. You can see our programme there and purchase your tickets. You will be able to buy physical tickets from our box office, but that will only be open on the 24th of January, the day before the event. So you've got options like festival passes, which will give you access to most of the events across the whole festival, and then you can buy tickets to individual sessions if you see just one or two things that you like, or perhaps you're only available on one day. You can also have a look at some of our highlights on social media, so we're on Instagram and Facebook, and then of course there's various articles and features going on as at the moment, interviews with authors, and I do recommend people book accommodation early because Galle's only so big, and they also start reading the books from the author lineup, because it's so much better if you've read the book in advance and then you meet the author and you can talk to them about it.
Fabulous. Giselle Harding, Event Director, Galle Literary Festival 2024. Thanks for the chat. And so I look forward to seeing you in Galle.
I hope so, in January.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for watching us. We'll see you again tomorrow. Good night.